the starting point of 1992 when the Rio Convention was concluded. That was a historic document. For the first time, the entire world actually came together to agree upon a climate treaty, the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. If you take the way in which the climate emergency has become a bigger and bigger challenge, what strikes you is that the global response to it, after having achieved the high point of 1992, has actually been diminishing. And yet, the curve of the climate emergency is a sharply ascending curve. Now, why was Rio so important? Because Rio recognized something which we gave up in Paris, which was the concept of historical responsibility. So, the Rio Convention said very, very clearly, and I quote, noting that the largest share of historical and current global emissions of greenhouse gases has originated in developed countries. Now, it has been agreed that maybe next year, that is 2022, they will gather again to actually have more ambitious, mitigation targets. Let us wait and see whether we get anything in that exercise. The other caution that I have is that, the focus in Glasgow was very much on what is known as net zero carbon by 2050. So you're not talking about actually reducing emissions, because as long as your increase in emission is matched by the sinks, that is taking carbon away from the Earth's atmosphere, you are as long as you are balancing it, you are fine. Now, which are the carbon sinks? If you take natural carbon sinks, they are the oceans, they are the forests. The oceans are becoming more acidic. Their ability to actually absorb further carbon is diminishing over time. You are dumping more and more plastics into the ocean, hazardous waste into the ocean. It has become like a world's rubbish dump. So one needs to have a healthy skepticism about what this net zero really means. This net concept is a bit of a illusion, that it creates the sense that we are actually getting somewhere when actually we are not. So what is really crucial in terms of climate change action is really what we do in the next 10 years. So bottom line is, therefore, for a country like India, the bottom line is whatever is needed to be done with respect to climate change, you have to rely on yourself. So if you are looking at energy security, then the good news is that for reasons of energy security as well as climate change, it makes sense for India to make a transition sooner rather than later from fossil fuel based growth to renewable and clean source based growth. So you have to think in terms of a change in value system. Looking at your own traditions, looking at your own culture, are there some valuable things that we can salvage from that in the kind of situation which we find ourselves today. So negotiations important. What we do at the international fora very important, but we cannot forget what is it that we are doing at home. You cannot destroy virgin forests in Arunachal to create oil palm plantations and say you are protecting forests. That will not work. So I think there has to be a certain honesty also in terms of our commitment to sustainable development.